friends, I'm Walker and welcome back to All About Nails, where we talk about vegan and cruelty-free nail polish. Today, I'm very excited to talk about what I wore in January. I wore a lot of polishes in January, and yet a lot of them are very similar. So I'm excited to show you what I wore. I also have started taking track of some stats of what I'm wearing this year in 2020, and so I'm excited to start sharing with you some of the stats of what I wore. So stay tuned at the end. We'll talk about like percentages of brands and colors and fun like nerdy polish stuff. So really excited about that. All right, the first polish that I wore in January was Lacquer Emerald. I love this polish. It is a gorgeous green. I think some folks have described it as a little bit teal. I would say it's a little bit teal, but I did my comparisons of this already, and it's not as teal as Danica. It's much more green, but it definitely has like some blue undertones. It's not just a pure green. I really like this one. I mean, you know I like to wear my greens, so it's probably not a surprise that I really enjoy this one, but it's probably one of my top two from Lacquer so far, and they've released a fair number of shades given how long they've been around, so I'm pretty excited about this one. I did wear it in January. I don't think I wore it for a ton of time, but I do remember putting it on kind of right at the end of December, and I'm very happy that I did. All right, and then I started pulling out the polishes that I was going to share in my Our Faves for Winter video, which I'll link up here if you haven't seen it yet, but I picked out some polishes and realized that I really wanted to wear them. One of them was Pahlish Chai. This is a gorgeous kind of soft milky white base with the gold shimmer, gold dust I think is what she calls it. So this isn't the gold flaky, it's slightly smaller pieces, and it's just stunning. The milky white base has a little bit of pink in it, maybe like just a hint of pink, and so on your nails it's not like super cold, it's a little bit warm, it's got that gold in it, and so it's just absolutely gorgeous. I really like this one. It was in my winter faves, and when I wore it I was so happy that I was wearing it. It is perfect for January. You can totally wear this one later on in the year too, anytime, but I really liked it for January when I wanted it to be like muted but a little bit fun still, so this one was perfect. I don't know if this is still available on their website, but I will link the polish site down below. Okay, and then obviously I had to get on some Olivette polish. So this one is Cornflower. I wore this one in early January and I loved it. I actually wore this one in December as well, but this one, when I wore it in December, I wore it like on a day when I was just at home and I was filming, but I wasn't really like out and about. This one I actually wore for several days in January, like as a real manicure out in the world, during our Kickstarter launch, and I just love this polish. It is beautiful. Cornflower is probably my favorite from our upcoming collection, but it's kind of hard to make me pick a favorite. So I'll put a link down below if you want to get on our email list. I will be launching the website with this collection on it in early March, so if you were not able to pre-order, you'll be able to pick them up in just a couple weeks. Okay, and honestly when I took off Chai, I kind of didn't want to take it off, and so I pulled out Cirque Colors Stoneware. This one is another kind of light milky white but maybe a little bit pink base, and then the speckles in here are, I don't even know, like copper, pink, something like that, and it is a perfect speckled polish. I really like this one. I love all their speckled polishes, but Stoneware is probably one of my top three so far. I'm wearing Acid Wash right now, which is another one that I just absolutely adore. I've had Acid Wash on for, I don't know, several days right now, like several days. I've had it on for a while. It's February so far. Going real strong with Acid Wash. But Stoneware is really nice. I did pick this one up in my Black Friday purchases from them, and I just absolutely love it. All right, and one of the purples that I was considering putting in my winter faves, but I don't actually think I did, I'm pretty sure, this is Odette from Zoya. I realized that I hadn't worn a Zoya all January yet, and so I started to look at some of my kind of classic winter Zoyas. Odette is one of the first Zoyas that I purchased. I think I purchased like Odette, Tulip, Sailor, Neely. I got them all in kind of like the same order or like within a few weeks of each other, and I remember wearing Odette, I think it wasn't January, it must have been like in March, or like it was winter time, but it was a little later in the winter, and I just was in love with this polish. I had never worn anything like it, which seems so silly now, but it's just like a beautiful grayed out purple. Now it's actually not my favorite winter purple from Zoya, but you know, whatever, you live and you learn. But I really like this one. I was really happy to be wearing it, and it's just lovely. It's part of one of their Naturel collections, and so it's very delicate, it's very soft, but it is a lot of purple. It's a lot of bang for your buck. This is a really great winter shade. Okay, I'm gonna warn you, there's a lot of gray ahead. January is a month where I really like to wear grays. I also, that's the next color comparison series that I'm doing, and so I have been starting to kind of get swatch photos of some of the grays that I know that I need them of. But January is the time that I want to wear grays. Regardless of whether I'm swatching them, January is the time that I want to wear grays. So I started with Zoya's Genevieve. You probably saw this most recently when I did my Moonstone swatch and review, because I swatched Moonstone from Lights Lacquer over Genevieve, and I love this polish. It is a really deep charcoal gray. There's like a, I don't know, a tiny shimmer in this bottle, but you do not see it on the nails at all. So I don't even know if that's on purpose, or maybe it's just like separation of pigment a little bit, but I have a little bit of like white across here that looks like it could be a pearl shimmer, but it might just be pigment separation. But I love Genevieve. I love a good charcoal gray. They feel, I don't know, they feel warm to me. I don't know if that makes any sense, because I feel like you can't really have a warm charcoal gray, but it doesn't feel as cold as like Dove or some of the lighter grays from Zoya. They just feel a little bit cold on my nails, which I like them still. I like all grays, but I like charcoal. They feel a little bit more warm. They're like a little bit more, I don't know, deeper. I really like this one. So Genevieve was lovely. I wear it in 2 coats. I do think I put a wide brush in this one because this is, again, one that I've just had for a while. Yeah, and my brush was kind of a little wonky. I think I maybe got this one in a D-stash, and sometimes you just never know what you're going to get. So I put a wide brush in this one, but you definitely don't need it. It's a really nice formula even without it. And then I wore Petra. This polish is perfection. I love this polish. It is a little bit more of a purple toned gray, and so this one's definitely warm. There's a lot of warmth going on in this bottle, but it is gorgeous. It's like a putty gray, and it is perfect. When I wore this one on my nails, I did not want to take it off. I was so happy with it. It's not the kind of color that people stop and go, oh wow, what's on your nails? But it is the kind of color that when I was wearing it, every time I looked at my nails, I was like, damn, I look good. These are good nails. They look great. They're just so interesting. They're so warm. It's like neutral, but surprising. You know, it's not an expected color. I'm sure there are a million other brands that have a color like this, but I love Petra so much. I think I made a little note of this one. Someday I'll refilm my favorite Zoyas video. If you haven't seen my old version, I'll put it up above, but I will refilm that video someday, and I think Petra's gonna get added to that list because it's just a perfect polish. You could wear this anytime. It's beautiful. It's a neutral, but it's fun. It's interesting. I love it. I love it. Petra's great. It's great. Okay, and then I was on the like kind of fun gray Zoya's kick, and so I pulled out Kaitlin, which is another really, really nice one. This one has a bit more blue in it. I think you could also call this one purple in some ways, but it's more of like a muted out bluey purple, whereas Petra's like a warm kind of clay purple. Yeah, I'm doing a really good job of describing these polishes. I don't have the actual descriptions in front of me, so you're gonna have to put up with my made-up descriptions. But Kaitlin's really nice. It is a little bit more cooler toned, and so I will say Petra is definitely my favorite of the two. I mean, they're totally different. You could definitely have them both. But Kaitlin's a little bit cooler toned, so it's really fun. It's really interesting, but it's not my favorite because it's just a little bit more cool toned. Awesome, and then I pulled out another one from our upcoming release from Olivette Polish. This is Rhododendron. This is still my sample bottle from my manufacturer. They should be here in the next couple weeks from when I'm filming this video, and probably days from when I post this video, which is so exciting. But this one is Rhododendron. It's a really lovely, kind of right on the line between pink and purple, and I am so excited about this one. I actually was testing out a base and a top coat that I might be releasing later on this year. I'm not quite ready to release them yet, but I am testing some different things. And I wore this one with that base and top coat combination, and I think I wore it for a whole week. Like, I put it on Monday, and then I didn't take it off until Friday. It was a very busy week. One of my coworkers commented, she was like, weren't you wearing a different color at the beginning of the week? And I was like, nah girl, I've been wearing this all week long. But it held up really well, and I was really happy with this color. It's gorgeous, and it was okay for winter. Like, it was fine to wear earlier in the winter, I feel like, because it was a little bit warm, but it's not like super bright. It's definitely pastel, it's definitely lighter, and so I had no problems wearing this in January. It didn't feel too like jarring on my nails. Okay, but after all those creams and all those grays, I was ready to pull something out that was a little more sparkly, a little more interesting. I pulled out Rihanna, and I did wear this one in a couple videos as well, and I had people like asking in every comment, what am I wearing? I always link it in the description box. I always list it in the description box if you're ever wondering. But Rihanna really was a showstopper. I want to do a comparison, and I know a lot of you have asked for this, so I will do it someday. I promise. It's not coming soon, so don't hold your breath. But someday, I do want to do a comparison of all the like metallic purples from Zoya, because they have so many, and they're all beautiful, but I also kind of think they're all very similar. So I don't know. This one, I love it. If you have others in your collection that are this kind of like warm-based metallic purple, like do you need to run out and grab several more? I don't know, but Rihanna is really nice. I didn't feel like this one was super metallic-y on my nails. Like I got a lot of that base color and I got a little shimmer, but it wasn't like super ribbony, you know what I mean? It wasn't like totally metallic. This one felt a little bit more shimmery, and it was definitely a thinner formula, so I did 2 coats, but I feel like I probably could have done a 3rd coat to get a little bit more of that depth of the base color in here. So overall, I was happy with this. I don't think it's my favorite of Zoya's metallics. It looked a lot more metallic like under my swatching lights when I filmed videos with it on. It looked a lot more metallic, but I did enjoy this one for sure. No complaints. Okay, and then I wore Storm from Zoya, which is, of course, their black scattered holographic, and I love the scattered holo from Zoya. I don't think I talk about them enough, so I'm really excited about having worn this one this year. It feels really good so far, but this one is wonderful. It's their black. The scattered holo in here just totally pops off the nail. This was in my winter favorites video for good reason. It's really good for the winter, that black like with a little something extra, so I really enjoyed this one. Alright, and then if you watched my winter favorites video, you could probably pick which one is next. This one is Lights Lacquer HBIC, stands for Head Be in Charge. This one is black with a very strong pearl shimmer. This one made me feel like a boss when I wore it. I only wore it for about 24 hours because I was, I think, swatching to try to get my final photos for my winter favorites video. But this one is absolutely stunning. It is just, it's like the perfect amount of pearliness on the nails where it looks not like super shimmery and glimmery, but it does give you that effect of the pearl. You see the shimmer. It's like sleek, you know what I mean? It looks like kind of like leather or something on your nails, and I really love this one. This is one of my favorites from that first collection. It really surprised me. I did not expect to like it as much as I did, and it has way more shimmer in it than Zoya's Willa or Raven, whichever one has a little bit of shimmer in it. This one has way more than that one, and so you definitely see that pearl on the nail. Okay, and then I know that I was like filming a lot at the end of the month because I think I remember wearing each of these next few in videos. So this is Pahlish Stormborn. I don't even know if this video that I wore this one in has been posted yet, but I loved this polish. It is from the Pahlish Ice and Fire collection, a Song of Ice and Fire collection, which came out like last year in May or June. And when I saw this polish, I was like, that is a January polish if I have ever seen one. It's like a dusty kind of denim-y blue, packed with these like pretty large holographic silver glitters. And this is a finish that Pahlish has several polishes in. They've released many polishes that have the same glitter in a base that's like super dense glitter. But this combination of the silver and the like denim-y blue is just fabulous. I will say this dries a little bit dull, so if you have one of these polishes in this formula, you will want to add top coat. I added 2 coats of top coat to this, which I don't really mind. That's not a big deal, especially because I use a quick drying top coat, so it goes relatively quickly. It's not a big deal. But I loved wearing this polish. I'm so glad that I got it on. I almost skipped it because I was like, I don't know, it's pretty sparkly. I don't know if that's what I'm feeling right now. But it's like, you know, there's so much glitter that you kind of just see the silver in some ways. But I mean that like in the best sense of that word. I'm doing a bad job describing this polish, you guys, but it is gorgeous. I really like this one. I probably want to wear it again this year because it's one of my favorite polishes, I think, of all time. Okay, and then I wore 4 more Zoyas. First, I wore Evie, which is one of my favorite Zoyas. Again, this one is so good. It's a kind of grayed out green. It's still definitely green, but it's a little bit more grayed out. This one I only wore for like 24 hours again because I was doing some swatching, but I love this polish. It has a perfect formula. I love it. Zoya does have a couple that are this kind of like gray, green-y. They have like Misty and Charlie, but this one is the most green, I think. So it's like neutral and kind of taupey, but it's definitely green, and that's what I really like about it. Just like Petra is definitely like purple, this one is definitely green. So I really like this one. I think it's surprising. I think if you like look at this in the bottle or you see it on the website, you're not gonna assume that it's a stunner. Like it's gonna kind of fade into the background, but it is a really, really nice polish. I do think there's a lot of depth here, so I don't know. It's great. I really like this one. Okay, and then really, I think this is the only like new Zoya that I wore. This is Tieran, and this is from their holiday collection. It's a really nice kind of lighter charcoal gray. It's much lighter than like Genevieve, which was the other charcoal gray that I wore in January. Much lighter. It has a little bit of warmth in it. It's a really nice gray. I really enjoyed this one. It was almost opaque for me in one coat. I did put a second coat on. Just, I don't know, I always do out of habit, but this one was almost opaque for me in one coat. So if that's something you care about, Tieran's a really good gray. Okay, and then I wore Neve, and I wore Neve because I had like a million people tell me that I had to wear Neve. If you watch my What I Wore in December video, you know that I wore a couple like dark blue, navy blue metallics from Zoya, and that I was a little disappointed by a lot of them because they just kind of looked black in most light. And so a lot of people recommended that I try Neve, and I was really surprised because when I look at this polish in the bottle, I think it's purple, but it is described as blue on Zoya's website, and when I wore it, it was definitely blue. It is such a chameleon because it was purple in some lights, like super direct light, but outside of that, I would put this one similar to like Kale Polish To the Stars. Like it was like a very bright blue. It's not quite as royal blue as Gen, like they're definitely different. This one has that like purple deepness to it, but it was really, really pretty. I don't know that I loved it on me. Like I thought it was pretty to look at, but I didn't think it was like super great on my skin, if you know what I mean. But I was really blown away by this one. It was not anywhere near what I expected. It was very surprising to me. So I'm glad that so many of you recommended it, and I'm glad that I decided to stick it out and try it on. It was probably my least favorite polish that I wore this month, but I think I wore a lot of really beautiful polishes, and this one was just not quite my personality. It was just not quite what I wanted, but it is really fascinating and really, really nice. Okay, and then the last polish that I wore in January was Pasha, and I had pulled this one out to do some comparisons a couple times, and I had never worn this one, and so I put it on my rack of like things that I want to wear up top here, and I just was so happy with it. It's a really dark kind of taupey color with a pearl shimmer in here, and I love those like neutrally nude polishes that have something else in them. I just think they're stunning. They're so fun to wear. I love them. And so I knew that I was really gonna like Pasha, and I did. I mean, like it was deep enough on my nails that it didn't look like mannequin hands, which is not a look that I like. I know it looks fine on other people. On me, it is not a look that I like, but this one was deep enough, like taupey enough, that it didn't just look like my skin tone. I mean, there's probably somebody out there who would look more like their skin tone, but for me, it really popped off. You could really see that shimmer. I was just really happy with this one. I was really surprised. I did not expect to like it as much as I did, but I really enjoyed it. I think I might wear it again this year because I was not ready to say goodbye to this polish when I had to take it off. Okay, so that's all I wore in January, but I do want to share with you some statistics. I was really inspired by Kayla from Cork Manicures. I'll link the video that I'm going to refer down below in my description box, but she did her what she wore in 2020 video, or sorry, 2019, because this is 2020. She hasn't worn anything yet. No, in 2019, she listed like everything she wore. She was able to look at her collection and say, wow, I didn't wear as many purples or whatever her numbers were, which was so interesting, and I want that information. And because I'm sitting down to film these videos every month, I have a really great list of what I'm wearing, and so it's so easy for me to like do a little bit of analysis and figure out what I'm wearing. So this month is going to be a little bit obvious because you just saw my video about what I wore this month, but I think as we go, it'll be kind of cool to see like what percentage I wear that is Zoya, what percentage I wear that is blue, these things that I like think about myself. I love Zoya, I love blue. I want to see if it becomes true in the numbers. So far this year, I have worn 53% cream polishes, which feels right to me. That feels right. I've worn 9. Those are definitely my favorites. I also wore 59% Zoya, so I wore almost 60% Zoya last month, which was a little bit intentional. I am trying to like make sure that I get as many Zoyas on as possible because I do just have so many of them, and because I'm not getting a ton of new ones all the time, I kind of forget about them sometimes, you know, and I just want to wear the like new fancy flashy thing that I got, but I want to remember the Zoyas that I had and love. So 60% is great. I'd like to like keep it at that for the year. And then my colors were a little bit more split. So I wore about 24% gray, which feels right for January. That was like where my brain was. That's what I wanted to wear. And then I was tied. I wore 3 blues and 3 purples, so about 20% each, blue and purple. So I think that blue will get more as we go, and purple will probably kind of even itself back out, but I thought that was pretty cool. I'm really excited to keep track. So far this year I've worn a total of 17 polishes, which feels pretty good. January was a pretty high month. It was a long month, and that's a lot of polishes. I don't usually wear 17 per month, but I feel pretty good about that. Awesome. Thanks so much for joining me. Let me know down below what you wore in January. Did we have a similar color palette, or were you like pulling out the brights, like screw winter, I want to wear bright nail polish? Let me know what you were thinking. And as always, if you like this video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing so that we can sit down and hang out and chat about nail polish again sometime. Awesome. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.